and that I thought of. And so I got out the truck again, pretended, he and I have been doing business. Long story short, so the deal right now, and we're working out the details. We haven't yet gone under executed contract because it's a commercial deal. It's a lot more convoluted and it's a lot more egos involved in the situation. But right now we're working out the details on this deal, and the details are surrounded around 3.2 mil. So it's a huge deal that I'm just keeping my fingers crossed for. And all of that came from networking, though, just opening myself up to networking. Now on this deal, I'm collaborating. We talked about that earlier. I'm collaborating with another agent. So when we get this deal done, we'll be splitting those commissions, but still yet, I mean, hey, this is something that fell in my lap through collaborating, put myself out there, put myself in places and spaces, presenting myself as a consummate professional, and now it's hopefully going to turn into something. So that's just kind of a testament to that. Make sure we don't have any more questions. Again, just want to tell you, you all appreciate how much involvement you all are doing and attending today's session. So let's move on to the next one. So problem-solving tactics specific to luxury clients. Anybody have any idea what they think some of the main problems might be with luxury clients? No? Problem-solving tactics with luxury clients. What do we think?
I think personally tying them down, whether they want to tie down to the deal or make time to make the deal happen.
Okay. Okay, I see what you're saying. So if they're a luxury client, you're dealing with a person with a lot of money, they might not have lots of time. They just want to get it done. They don't necessarily want to put in that time to sit down and figure out the details and things of that nature. Is that what I'm hearing?
A little bit of that, but just whatever, they want it all done without putting the time in themselves,
gotcha.
showing up, for relevant conversations, if you will.
Gotcha. I see where you're going with that. I could definitely see that as being an issue. Yes. Even with the sale that I told you, the clients that moved out of state, like you said, that was a prime example. They didn't want to have anything to do with it. Just get it done, right? Just get it done. Now, to add on to that, I'll tell you what's an additional issue with many luxury clients, to add on to what you just talked about, Charles, is that not only do they not want to deal with it and they want you to do it all, but most of the time they want it done at a lower cost, right? They typically have lots of money, but they don't really want to spend a lot to get it done. And so this is a huge issue. And this is not just an issue with luxury clients. Lots of times, I mean, this is the issue when you're having listings with, whether the house is 200, 400, 600, that topic of commission seems to always come up, right? And not realizing, especially when you get to the luxury portion, all of the work that's going to be needed to get done. That seems to be the first point of emphasis people go to when it comes to talking about the money and what they're going to profit in their pocket, right? Is their commission. And so I've had many conversations with Mike about this, and he just reiterates what I believe in. And it's like, no, you don't negotiate your value. You don't negotiate your price, because your price, the price that you charge, the commission that you charge, your price is your value. And if I'm negotiating and discounting my price, then I'm negotiating and discounting my value. And if I know my value ahead of time, then that price is not an issue. So with that being said, Charles, it's no problem if a client wants me, they don't want to deal with it. They want to make sure that it's all just done. What that means for us as the real estate agent, as the broker, as whomever, is we got to make sure that we have our ducks in a row prior to getting that listing on the market, prior to having that listing appointment. So I did a training with Brooks and Davis that we had, I think it was a couple of months ago. And my portion was on listing agreement or listing appointments, how to prep for those things. And so a lot of that conversation was around doing your research on the home, doing your research on what's going to separate how you market and how you advertise that home moving forward, doing your research and planning on how you're going to get that thing sold prior. And the way that you best do that is by having a good and solid conversation with those sellers prior to getting that thing listed, right? So the first time that I have, and you can't always work it out this way, but if I can, you want to have that solid conversation with those potential clients before you have that listing presentation, right? It would be nice to hear what's going to drive them. What are they motivated by? What are their needs? What are their wants, right? So it's not all about selling yourself. It's about really just listening to what the client wants and then setting up your plan and your systems so that it most mirrors what they're saying that they want. But again, when it comes to that charge, know your value. But if you know your stuff, if you know your business, if you know your profession, if you know what you're doing, and you can illustrate that in your conversations with that potential client, then the money is not going to be an issue, especially when it comes to luxury clients, right? So people that go in, for example, people that go in to go and buy a Ferrari, people that go in to buy a Lamborghini, people that go in to buy a Rolls Royce, those individuals, I can almost guarantee you, they're not going into these dealerships, into these places and negotiating prices, right? It's not like going over to CarMax. No knock on CarMax. I bought a few cars from there. Some I shouldn't have. Some were good deals, but they're not going into the Lamborghini dealership and man, I only got 60 today. Like, I mean, what can you do? No, but it's not just because of who they are, but Lamborghini, Rolls Royce, those companies have established their brand, which we've already talked about. They made it very apparent what their value is, what their product brings. And so that price tag doesn't matter to those luxury buyers because they know what they're getting. And so if a client knows what they're getting from you, then that commission, that cost is not going to matter. If a client doesn't know what they're getting from you, then obviously that's where, hey, I want to negotiate. So make sure that you, again, know what separates you, whether I go into that meeting and I say, okay, well, what's going to separate me? What's going to separate you from all these other agents that's coming in and trying to sell my luxury property? So again, make sure that you make it known that, hey, I'm going to use digital marketing. I'm going to use print. I'm going to use video. I'm going to use, walkthroughs. I'm well connected. I utilize networking events. Like, I'm going to make sure that your property gets sold for the max amount that it can get sold for in the proper time. And if we do those things, then, I don't think that we have much to worry about as far as when it comes to problem solving tactics, because whether it's a luxury client or a lower end priced home, clients just want to know that they are getting top-notch service. And if you can illustrate that from the time you walk in, from the way you speak, from the way you dress, from your plan of action, then I don't think that any of that would be an issue. Any questions on that? Another, I love some of these social media deals that I see. Another one that I saw that pertains actually to this question when we talk about problem solving tactics, especially when it comes to, okay, how do I approach the issue of people wanting top-notch quality, but they want it at a lower premium. And I think that that's something that we deal with daily as real estate agents, but I think it's on Instagram or Facebook. This video pops up on my feed all of the time, and it's different videos, but it's the same audio that's played in the background. And the guy is talking about, again, how to approach your business when it comes to you doing quality work and people want it at a discounted price and this and that and all these different desires and problem solving that. He said, listen, this is what you do with clients. And again, it may be in a joking way, but this person who did this video may be serious. But he said, you tell clients this: I do business 3 ways. Some of you probably have heard this. I can do it fast, I can do it good, I can do it cheap. You pick 2, right? So he says, if somebody says, well, hey, I want it fast and I want it cheap, well, it's not going to be good. Okay, well, they say, well, I want it fast and I want it good. Well, it's not going to be cheap. Well, I want it good and I want it cheap. Well, it's not going to be fast, right? So the point of that, when he has these videos, is to say, if you want quality work It's going to take time, it's going to take energy, it's going to take effort, and it's probably going to cost you, but it's going to be done the right way. It's going to be professional, it's going to be top notch. And so that's how you kind of got to approach your business. So I always laugh when I hear that little deal, but it's so true. And I can't wait to use it on a client. It'll probably be like my cousin or something, or my sisters who are getting ready to buy, because I know them, they're cheap. And so I'm gonna definitely use it on them. All right, so let's move on to the next, our third bullet of conversation. And so what are some best practices from industry experts? So anyone can chime in on this. Please feel free. We're all industry experts in some form or fashion, but best practices, particularly when it comes to luxury clients or any clients. But I'll tell you, number one is building a solid foundation, in my opinion. So doing what you are doing today is one of the best practices that you can engage in. So attending events like today, networking events, lunch and learns, your training sessions, that is building that solid foundation is going to be one of the best practices that you can ever engage in, because you always want to be a student of your craft, a student of the profession. So you always want to be in that ABL range. And ABL, always be learning. So I used to hear that in school when I was coming up, always be learning. You never know it all. There's never enough information. Information is knowledge. The more your knowledge grows, the more your confidence grows. The more your confidence grows, the more effective you are in what you do. I know this firsthand as an individual. I know this firsthand. So for those of you that don't know, my background's in education. Many people know that already. I spent 15 years as an educator, elementary, middle school, high school, taught in China, taught history, taught English, was a coach. But when I was in the classroom, what I learned over the years, and we teach this to teachers, I would say, man, about 90 to 95%, at least through my experience, of classroom disruptions, classroom discipline issues came from a small set of reasons. Number one could be the teacher's classroom, classroom behavior, management style, whatever the case may be, wasn't up to par, right? But most of the time when kids, particularly when kids act out behavioral issues in classrooms from kids, it's due to their lack of knowledge of the content. So it makes me immediately think of this kid, Kevin, Hispanic kid that I had when I was teaching sixth grade world cultures, or it was either sixth grade world cultures or seventh grade Texas history. I can't remember, but Kevin acted out all the time in every class. I mean, all the time, just acted out. He and I built a great rapport, great relationship. I had him out in the hallway one day talking to him, and I was just like, what is the deal? And he would just finally like, man, Mr. Hudson, I don't know it. Like, I'm not smart. I don't know how to do this, and so I don't want to do it. And so at that point in time, we had an opportunity to find out the root of the problem, and we were able to address that. And moving forward, it was a lot easier for us to function well in the classroom space, because now I knew, okay, his issue is not just, he's a bad kid. He just wants to be tough. He wants to show out in front of his friends and in front of the girls. No, the reality is his knowledge was at a low level. He did not understand what was going on in class. And the same thing happens in the professional spaces, right? So lots of times we're not confident. We're not able to gain those clients that we want. We're not able to do the things that we want to do in our profession, not because we don't want to do it, but because we don't have enough knowledge to be confident enough and be comfortable to do those things, right? So the more you engage in learnings and things of this nature, the more your confidence is going to be built, and the more likely you are going to put yourself in front of places and spaces that are going to allow you to pull towards you, to attract those luxury clients and those clients that you are looking for. So making sure that you're doing that, diversifying your learning, not just learning from one person, but learning from many different people, because there's so many experts out there. You want to make sure that you're taking from so many different places. Know what your foundation is, know what you believe in, know what your brand is, right? Know what you stand on. So for me, my personal brand, my personal motto, my personal core values: build community, experience growth, establish legacy. And that's not a gimmick phrase. Like that's what I live by. That's what I stand by in my personal life and my professional life. And so the things that I look at, the things that I learn from, the things that I engage in, the networking events that I go to are gravitated around that. Things that deal with community, things that deal with growth, education, knowledge, things that deal with legacy. How do I establish legacy? So knowing those things and being relentless about your approach and going after those things are key. I want to read, I'm big on quotes and what people who have been successful have said. So how you go after those things has to be super, super duper relentless. And this is not just to the new client, I mean, to new agents, this is to seasoned as well, but specifically new agents, think about things in this manner. So Kobe Bryant said this, I'm gonna read this quote from the late, great Kobe Bryant. So Kobe Bryant said, every day I was pursuing perfection and excellence, even though I knew I would probably never catch it. But the simple fact that I was willing to chase it, I would defeat most of my opponents because most of my opponents would never chase something that didn't have any guarantees attached to it. So you got to think about that when you are approaching your business. This is your business, right? Mike corrected me about a year ago. We were dealing with some issue, and I said, "Well, you're my boss." And Mike said, "No, I'm not your boss. I'm your partner. Like you are your business. I'm your partner. We're partnering together." So how you grow your business, like you can't rely on everybody else to do it for you. If you want to obtain those luxury clients, like approach your business the way that Kobe approached basketball, which was, I'm going to chase greatness. I'm going to do the things that are going to get me to the position that I need to get to, even if I know those items might not have a guarantee attached to it. Right? Like a tangible guarantee, because at the end of the day, it does have a guarantee, right? It's going to build relentlessness. It's going to build perseverance. It's going to build confidence. It's going to build all these other things that you need, those intangibles that you need to grow that business. But lots of people don't operate that way. It doesn't have a guarantee. If I don't get something from it, oh, there's no door prizes, I'm not going to that networking event. Oh, there's no, the commission's not going to be XYZ. I'm not doing that. Oh, this person wants, my neighbor wants advice from me, but they use, the other person to be their real estate agent. Well, I'm not giving them any advice, right? Things that don't have that immediate guarantee to it. A lot of people won't chase after those things because they forget what they truly value. And so you want to chase after that knowledge. You want to chase after that experience. You want to chase after that opportunity so that you can grow. Any questions on that? Any comments? Anybody want to chime in on that? And I think some of,
go ahead.
There we no, go ahead. Go ahead, LeBron.
No, this is me. That is so good because I have, like, first of all, when you say that you attract what you are, I have so many clients. Like I was with a client this past weekend and I'm like, don't listen to anyone that's saying anything negative. Because a lot of times when you as an agent, if you have that type of personality, if you have that will and that drive to help that person, then you're trying to help that person and don't let anybody speak against it. Because I have been in a deal, things are going really, really good. And at the last minute, someone would say something negative or they'll listen to somebody negative and it takes everything in they'll take it quick the wrong direction until you redirect them back to the road that you had them on, persevering, being relentless. And just, because again, you attract what you work with who you attract. And you basically know those people. So if you're attracting negative people, maybe, or people that you don't really want to work with, maybe you need to kind of think about who you are, maybe.
Absolutely. And like I said before, I think a lot of it circles back around to knowing what you value, knowing what your values are, because sometimes, and I fully agree with that. But sometimes people may even have good intentions, but they're just not on the same wavelength and same page as you are, right? So being grounded in what your goals are and who you are is important. So I'll give you an example. So my mom, there's a lady at her job. There's a couple of ladies at her job that she's referred to me. But I am currently dealing with a childhood friend of my mom's. They've been friends since, they were little, and now me and her son who have been friends since we were little. And so she's like part of the family, but I've been dealing with her for probably the last 6 months to a year. And she's kind of been back and forth. I want to buy and then disappear. I want to buy and disappear. And I stay on her. I follow up with her. I got her on my, my CRM to follow up and things of that nature. My mom calls me the other day. She's like, yeah, I talked to so-and-so, the potential client, the other day. and she said she don't think that she's ready. This, and you know what? I just called you to tell you that don't even be worried about her. Just let her go, because you don't have time for that. And if when she ready to buy, I wouldn't even, my mom's basically just telling me just leave her alone. Now my mom is thinking that she has my best, that she's doing what's best for me, right? But I get off the phone with my mom, and love my mom. I'm a mama's boy, and I'm just listening. Okay, yeah, all right, mom, all right. I get off the phone with her, and I call my wife, and I'm sharing the story with her, and I'm just telling her, I said, there's no way I'm gonna listen to what my mom said. Like, if I approached every client like that, like every time they did something I didn't like, every time they were fickle and they went back and forth, man, we would lose so many clients. Like, how many clients do all of us have to chase after, remind, follow up with? Like, we can't just get upset. Now, is it frustrating? Absolutely. But for me to be just, you know what, I'm done with you.
Right.
You said you want to buy, now you don't want to buy anymore. Like, if I adopt that attitude and that mentality, then that's not going to get me to where I want to go. Like, if I say that I value building community, experiencing growth, and establishing legacy, and I just shoo off anybody who just doesn't fall in line with this ABC format, then I'm not really living by what I say I value. And so I agree with you, Laverne. Yes, you definitely want to put yourself around people that think like you, but at the same time also understand that it's our job to be that consummate professional, what we started off talking about, and continuing to do the things that we have to do to get to where we want to be. Since we're talking about this whole luxury clients, just want to give everybody on the call today an idea of what Realtor.com classifies as luxury, because I think that there's kind of a gray cloud looming over everybody of what is a luxury deal. I think that most agents just put their own criteria on what's considered a luxury deal. So Realtor.com classifies a luxury deal anything from 500,000, so $500,000. Now they go up to 3 million. Now, obviously, anything over 3 million is still luxury, but they say 500,000 to 3 million. That's considered a luxury home. Wow. So if you're thinking about it like that, that may have changed some of your perspective of like, okay, well, wait a minute, I might have me some luxury people out there myself, and I didn't even know it. Now, if you look at some of the other research that's out there, it shows that the median sales price, the median price range for luxury homes are $912,000. But again, Realtor.com says 500,000 and up. But when you look at what's actually selling, what's out there on the market, the median price right at about 900. So me personally, when I think luxury, and this is just for me to set bars to chase after, I think that $1 million, right? So I'm just like, okay, $1 million property, luxury. But again, how you approach your business and how your mindset is set is what's going to get you to where you want to get to the fastest. So just because you don't have $1 million property, $912,000 property, or even a $500,000 property, doesn't mean that you should not still operate with this luxury mindset. Because again, if I go back to say, again, my parents, I sold my parents and them their first home, my mom's first time ever buying a home, and even in her older age, but this is their first home. This was, I guess they bought it, it's been 3 years now, 3 or 4 years. I think almost 4 years. So 4 years ago, and it's the home of their dreams. So for them, that is their luxury home. It was not 500, wasn't close to 500. I think it was 275. But for them, that was their luxury home. And that's how they felt about it. And they are grateful and thankful. And my stepdad, they thank me all the time for helping them acquire this home. And this home is going to help establish legacy in our family and things of that nature. And so I approach that sale just like I would if it was classified as a luxury home. So yeah, it might not be a luxury home as classified by Realtor.com or all these other metrics that are out there, but to that client that you're selling the home for, to that client that's buying that home, it may be their luxury home. So you definitely want to operate with that mindset. And I think the more that you operate, right, faithful over the small things, then when you do get those large homes, you won't be like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? How do I approach this? You'll have that confidence because you've already built that knowledge base, if that makes sense. Well, I want to, because it is 1 o'clock, I want to open up the floor if there are any questions, any comments, anybody have anything they want to add to the group. Man, that time flies by fast. But while I'm waiting on any questions, with that being said, once I get these, especially a large commercial deal under wraps, I'll definitely throw that in the group me for Brooks and Davis Real Estate. And if you care to want to say, hey, can I tag along? Can I engage in some of the meetings that you're having? Can I, pick your brains about how that process is going so that you can learn? Feel free. Again, once we get that thing under execution, I'll make sure that I post that so that anybody that wants to share in the learning process, they can engage in that. But any questions, comments, concerns? I appreciate you, Miss Adrienne, as well. Thank you all again for joining. If there are no questions or comments, if there's something that we missed, any feedback that you have, please send it to the chat, send it to Shay so that we can improve moving forward. Because again, the goal is for all of us to learn, because the more we learn collectively, the more we produce collectively, the more we're all elevating. And so we will elevate as much as the lowest person on the totem pole. So let's all grow together.
I have a quick question.
I'm gonna call you, Adrienne, when we get off of this. Yes, what's your question?
I have a quick question. How many social media accounts do you have, and how much do you focus on social media? Is it overrated, or do you put a lot of emphasis on that with your marketing, or not?
Good question. Good question. So I have 3 platforms that I utilize. I'm working on one. I want to use a 4th. So right now, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram are the 3 platforms that I use. The data shows that, believe it or not, TikTok is the most effective and has the most influence for realtors. That's just what I keep seeing and what I keep reading over and over and over again. I have a TikTok account. I've never even logged in. I don't think. I just can't get down with it right now. And I focus enough on the others to where I just don't have the time to be effective at that. But I want to get a YouTube account, because I want to do like informational Mondays, like a little quick 2 to 5 minute nugget every Monday for buyers, sellers, people who want to become real estate agents, that kind of deal. But the 3 platforms that I utilize, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and out of those 3, to be honest, I really utilize just Facebook and Instagram because they're connected, they're easy to use. But the second platform that they show that is most effective for business professionals is LinkedIn. So I am collaborating with, I went to a networking event and I met a person that specializes in helping you to manage your LinkedIn profile and make it the most efficient and effective for your business. So I am about to grow that, but I use Facebook and Instagram, and I do put time and energy and effort into making sure that I post X amount of times per week, for me. So 3 times per week, I post on certain content. So for instance, like on my Instagram, I have my like 5 pillars. You can set it up. If you were to go to my Instagram, which is Sedric_the Realtor, Sedric with an S, SEDRIC_the Realtor, you'll see I have 3 little tabs, and it's family, fitness, faith, finance, and future. And so those all kind of focus on the things that I say are my core values: building community, experience, and growth, so forth and so on. And so I try to post 3 times a week around things that are focused on those particular 5 core values. It has to do with my family, my business, what I believe in, and what I do, which is, fitness and exercise. But has it paid off? Yes, absolutely. I have, that message, the message that you can send out to the mass amount of people via social media versus trying to do it yourself, trying to do, a mail out campaign, door knocking. You can't keep up with, you can't keep up with social media if you're trying to do it on your own. So I definitely utilize it. And I have seen the return. And for me, it's so simple. Like the return, I'm always like, if I get 1 client out of it, then it was worth it, right? Like I have car magnets. Which I know, Mike, you probably seen a different car magnet on there last time. I'm not putting Brooks and Davis to the side. My Brooks and Davis car magnet flew off on my way back from Nacogdoches, and so I just had some magnets on there. But anyhow, the car magnets, I think they cost $100 each. And again, my wife was like, "Man, you spend $100 on car magnets." But I have gotten a few clients off of those car magnets, and so I'm like, if I spend $200 on car magnets, if I even get 1 sale, that's umpteenth time the return on those. But the social media has paid off. It does get your name and your face and your professional business out there to the masses a lot faster than you can do it. I think it's just, there is a fine balance on how much time and energy and money and effort you should put into that. Again, that friend that I was talking to you guys about earlier, that's all about the money. He spends almost all of his money on social media. Like he'll go out and spend thousands of dollars. I got to go put some new videos up and this, and he's not getting the return on the amount of money and time that he puts into it, but he's more about the image than he is the actual return. But I do think that having a solid social media platform, because that's just what business professionals do nowadays. So you want to keep up with the times. You don't want to be stuck in, well, I don't want to do it because, well, if multi-million-dollar companies are doing it, if, you know, Mark Cuban, the owner of, you know, the Dallas Mavericks, and he's on Shark Tank and he has all these businesses, if his companies utilize and leverage it, then what makes me think on my small scale that I don't need to utilize and leverage them? So yes, I do use those platforms to answer your question.
Thank you. That's good information.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, hey, go get you guys some lunch. I wish we could have provided some lunch. I'll give you a virtual, here's your lunch ticket. Go on and go out wherever you want to go, have lunch. And enjoy your evening. I appreciate you all taking the time to listen and the engagement that you imparted on with me today. And let's do it again another time.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Y'all have a good day.
You too.
Thank you, Sedric. Have a good day, y'all.